Sometimes just getting out and about in the hills can be a tonic in itself. You don't have to go mountain biking or wild camping or kayaking. It's just nice to get outside sometimes. Oh, let's see what the view's like. Oh, look at that. What a wonderful view. That's what I was hoping to show you. First thing this morning. Let's go back a few hours, shall we? Oh. Yeah, good morning. I'm in the van, as you can see. I never did many bits to camera last night, just because I was absolutely knackered. Oh, got my wee friend with me, wee scruff bags. Just had a breakfast. Anyway, the forecast was bright sunshine most of yesterday for this area. I'm on the highest road. Parked up on the highest road, I think in Britain, highest main road in Britain, and I've woken up to this. Let me just show you. If you can see that rain in the window, and there's usually nice expansive views to Monroes and mountains down there, but yeah, unfortunately nothing. I do get a signal here and I've checked the forecast and it is due to clear in a few hours, so I'm just going to chill. I go up at 6. I was going to get up and go nice and early, but I'm going to leave it a few hours because it's just damp. Going to get wet if I go now, so I'm hoping the sun's going to come out. And I'm just going for a hill walk. I'm just going to go for a hill walk. No kayaking, no mountain biking, no wild camping. Just a good old hill walk. And this is some of the best hill walking terrain, I think, and I'll come on to that later on, in Scotland, that's for sure, just due to the geology and landscape. But yeah, let's shut up. I'm going to have some breakfast. Well, I'm not going to have any breakfast. I'm going to have some coffee and I'll bring you back, hopefully with clearer skies and better views. Right, I don't know if you can make out behind me, but it's slowly starting to clear. The forecast is for, so I've got the radio on in the background. The forecast is for it to get sunny later on, so we'll see. It might be sunny now, but anyway, there's a reason why I'm going on this hill walk and why I'm coming to this great hill walking region, because I'll come on to it later on, maybe talk about it. It's going to be therapeutic for me today, I think. Right, I'll bring you back in a wee while. Let's get the dog ready. Make sure I've got all our water bowls and poo bags and all that sort of stuff. Oh right, you can probably see behind me where I am. I don't think I've mentioned it. Well, you just stay there. Stay there. I'm at the Glen Ski Centre, or at the top end of Glen Beg, and I'm just taking my time because the forecast is an improving one, but the tops are still in the cloud, but it is rising. I don't know if you can make it out, I don't know if the camera's catching it, but the Cairnwell is now free of cloud, but I'll show you in a minute. I'll spin you around to where I'm going, and I don't know where I'm going, to be honest with you. I've got quite a few different plans. The one place I do want to go is somewhere I've never been up here before, which is one of the beauties of when you come hill walking. You don't always have to just follow the same paths. I'm hoping to head onto another path which drops me down, but I'll tell you more about that when I get up here a wee bit. So let's just move on and I'll spin you around so you can see where I'm going. Oh, right. Well, you might be able to see what I meant when I said you can't see much. The hill I'm going up is Glas, Maol, which is the highest in the area. It's not this one over here with the ski toes, it's actually, you can't see it. It's in the cloud, but that's why I'm taking it really slow. You don't always have to be, bagging. Oh, look at me, I've bagged 20 Monroes in a day, or I've walked a marathon. Today I am the opposite of that. I'm just going to be having a nice leisurely stroll, which I'll come on to again at the top, or beyond the top, but my first aim, or my first target, is Glas Maol. I can't remember the height. I'm going to guess 1,022 metres. I don't know why that's in my head. Let's see if that's right. I will check the map in a minute. But yeah, let's head up there and hope that cloud clears before I reach those slopes. So this is Glas Maol. I don't know if you can make out. You've got to believe me when I say that it was starting to clear every now and again, so fingers crossed. I think we might be quite lucky. There's actually a speckle of sunshine over there. Let's see. It was a bit misty, but it was also starting to clear, as I mentioned. Another thing which is quite nice, or what I find about these Eastern Highlands, is you can often see quite a lot of wildlife, and there were certainly deer kicking about today. As you can probably see, I'm in the Creag and I've come up the steep slopes of Glas Maol. I was going to go over to the other Monroe, Creag, Leacach, because it was out of the cloud, but there was people coming behind me. I'd kind of started to come up Glas Maol and I thought they're coming up here. So I thought I'll go along there anyway, because I just need some solitude today. I just wanted to, it's a bit selfish of me. But yeah, I'm not going to go into the reasons why. But anyway, I started heading along. I turned round and they'd had the same idea, following in quite closely in my footsteps. So I just cut up back. I'm so antisocial, aren't I? God, that's bad. But sometimes you just want time to yourself, don't you? Maybe coming to a Monroe's not the best way to do that, but I am not stopping at the top of this Monroe, and I'm doing a bit of stravaiging, I think, wandering around aimlessly. So yeah, let's get it. I'll report back when I get to the top of Glas Maol. It levels off here, and this is one of the reasons why it's such good hill walking country here. So right, I'll report back at the top. And here we are. He likes it. The top, right. See if I can clamber up so you can see me. Oh, it's kind of like a cairn here. It's a nice big cairn. Don't know if you remember the time I was up here and there was a big bit of snow in here, and the only seating spot was covered in human ashes, which I gave my opinions on. But I was wrong. It's not 1,022 metres. It's 1,068 metres. And I'm sure it's the highest point in the area. In fact, I'm 90% sure it is. And I'm sure that there's 3 counties meet here: Perthshire, Angus, and I want to say Grampian, on the top of this hill. But I'm not going to stop here. I'm going to head down. This is called Glas Maol, and I'm heading to Little Glas Maol, which is down towards Glen Isla area, and that's a way I've always wanted to come up. But I've never actually done it from the Glen Isla direction. I was thinking about it last night, but I just didn't have time, and I'll tell you the reason what I'm talking about there is I was literally, it's not just work, there's a lot going on. We all have things that go on in our lives, don't we? I'm not going to go into it, but yeah, finished work at about 6:30 last night and literally packed the van and left. And I haven't really recently anyway done any research on whether I could park the van round at Glen Isla or what the route was up. So I came to where I knew something familiar. Sometimes that's half the battle, is finding out where to park. And tell me in the comments below if you have that dilemma as well, if you're going somewhere new. I know you can I sometimes use Google Maps and all that sort of stuff, but I just didn't have the time. Here, there's a bit of brightness coming about now. Right, I'm going to get the navigation head on and navigate. That's the thing, although this is great walking territory, I'll come on to that again when I get to Little Glas Maol. You have to be careful with your navigation when the cloud's down. I've actually come off this hill, believe it or not, about 4 or 5 times, I'll admit it, in the wrong direction. But yeah, this is looking promising now. Do a wee bit of sunshine. Right, let's go. Well, as you can see, I've dropped down out of the cloud, and it's just wee rising behind me. It looks more of a hill when you're coming down looking at it, but there's not much ascent to the top of Little Glas Maol. But it's just up here. But look at this behind me, isn't this wonderful? These big, deep, I don't know if you can make it out, or the camera's making it out. This is the thing that makes these areas, I think, in the East Coast or the Eastern Highlands so impressive. The big, deep gorges and clefts into these high plateaus. And this is the upper reaches. Well, I don't think it technically is, but Glen Isla is down that way anyway. I can't remember what this glen's called. It might be the upper reaches of Glen Isla, but wonderful. And I've seen it on maps, just the cliffs, and this is why I've always wanted to come and explore it. And I will come back via the Glen Isla side, because I think that will probably give you more of a, I don't know, more of a feel for the depth of that glen. But it's wonderful. The clouds starting to lift off the higher tops now as well, so yeah, let's go. Report back at the top of Little Glas Maol. And it's a very unimpressive cairn on Little Glas Maol. It's completely different to the to the big massive one on the Glas Maol itself. But the cloud is slowly lifting. What a viewpoint this is down. You can actually see down into the lowlands towards the Ochils and into Perthshire. It's lovely. But I was going to talk a bit about just the whole thing I was talking about, proper hill walking. It's not proper hill walking, but it's really, really nice hill walking country. And what I mean by that is once you're up onto these plateaus, it's striding country. You can really stride, get some miles in and just relax and just hill walk really. I'm not making new categories up, but maybe some of the ridge walks you do through in Glencoe, hill climbing maybe. But you have to be more wary about where you're putting your feet, because sometimes it's a bit more rocky, and this flat, nice spongy terrain is just perfect, just striding. Hill striding, shall we call it that? I don't know. But it's just what I needed today. Plus the weather forecast was better on the east. Well, that's been a bit contentious, shall we say, because it's clearing now, as the later forecast said. But anyway, yeah, I think I'm actually going to go a bit further on. There's another wee hill just over here, which I've never been to, so I'm going to go down there, and then I might go over to that Munro. I'm stravaiging, definitely stravaiging, which, if the definition is what I remember, I think stravaiging means wandering aimlessly. So let's do a bit of stravaiging. Let's head this way. Right, come on Lex, let's go. So I've decided to come down this way because it's kind of following the rim of that deep cleft, and some of the views down here is just fabulous. Absolutely glorious. I heard a deer down there as well. Lovely. Oh right, I've come to this wee cairn, this wee hill. I don't think it's got a name on the map. Oh, let's make this a bit more comfy. There you go. The next hill, just the next rising really, is called Monega Hill. But anyway, here, I watched my wee friend come running over. It's time. What would the Scotland's Mountains video be without a Scotch egg? Lexi! Come. Come. Oh, that's about as quickly as you've moved all day. Sit nice. Spin? Yes, I could get her. Oh, she likes them as much as I do. There's the wee cairn, the wee hill I'm on. I've had something to eat, and I'm going to head back. I think my stravaiging is going to take me over the Munro, or is it Creag Leacach, I think it's called. It's the grey one, you can see it, you'll have seen it from some of the drone footage. I'll put some up just now. I think I'll go that way. The other option was to go over here. This is Carnacleach, which is this way. Lexi, come on, away from there. But yeah, I wanted to come and show you this. Look at the views here into this big cleft are just, yeah, just amazing. I think there's some climbs here. I can't remember, maybe some winter climbs, because we are quite high up. I mean, this is another popular area for me in the winter. Not this bit, but over towards Glen Shee, because it's easily accessible and it catches the snow because it's quite high. But yeah, so this has been good so far. Let's report back at the top of the second Munro of the day, and I'll maybe tell you a bit about some of the benefits of hill walking I'm finding anyway today. Come on you, let's go. Always sniffing about. One legs. Here she comes. She's having a great time. She absolutely loves it. Right, let's go. Oh, right, the sun's coming out a bit now, it's quite nice, and me and the dog are having a braw time. She's just sitting at my feet waiting for me while I do this bit to camera. And this is the Munro I'm heading to here. I think it's pronounced Creag Leacach. I can't remember the height. It's smaller than Glas Maol, I want to say around about 1,000 metres. It's a lot stonier, which is a bit different for this terrain. And I'm not sure, I'm going to go up to the top of there, I'm not sure if I'm going to come back this way, which is the normal sort of Munro route back, but I might drop down the other side. It'll be more of an ascent, and then drop, you can come up a spur. I think there's maybe a ski hut or a mountaineering hut on the top of that spur. It will mean a bit longer and a bit more ascent, but you know what, as I said, I'm just stravaiging today, so it's wonderful. So let's just hope the sun stays out now. And yeah, let's crack on up to the top of this second Munro of the day, and I'll report back en route. I seem to remember there's a nice sort of stone dike wall that goes all the way along as well to handrail should the mist come in. It's pretty hard not to get lost in this one though, because it's basically a shoulder all the way to the top. Right, enough talking. Let's get walking. Right, Lexi, let's go. And get walking we did. It was just lovely hill walking country, as I've alluded to a few times in the video. And it really, really does wonders for your mental health and physical health. Sometimes it's good just to get out, just to put one foot in front of the other and hike towards a summit with little else to think about than actually reaching the summit. And the sun was coming out too. It was a wonderful day. That's me on the sort of shoulder on the ridge. You can see this, I was right at the stone dike that runs right along, but look at the weather, it's just clearing beautifully. That's not the summit actually, that's a false top. It goes up and then down and then up again. There's not too much reascent, but I think the last time I came here it was literally, it was really deep snow. I had to put my snowshoes on, and in places it was drifting. So it was a good couple of metres of deep places round about here. I'll put a link to that video in the description. Slightly different today, a bit warmer, it's lovely, and my mental health is this is helping it, let's put it that way, which is good, and my physical health, so that's what I was going to talk about. Just getting outside, doesn't have to be anything too exciting. Sometimes even just walking the dog for me helps reset, and just something about it helps when there's things going on. There's lots of things going on at the moment, everyone's got things going on, haven't they? So work, it's not so much work, family stuff and worries, and this certainly helps. I wouldn't say it banishes them, but it's certainly therapy for that. But yes, I think this is a beautiful looking hill though. Do you not think so? The grey, especially when the blue sky's behind it, that kind of, the grey of the rock. And anyway, let's get to the top and I'll decide on which way I'm going to stravaig back down to the van. Oh, you okay, Lex? Yeah, she's fine as well. Right, let's go up here. That's me at the summit. It's quite nice. The breeze is picking up. See, there's a few folk coming. It's the thing about the Munros, that you're never going to get them to yourself unless you're in some of the remote ones, or the weather's bad, and today the weather's really good. But it's a lovely summit this. What a view. You can see all the way down to the ski centre where my van is, and this shoulder here is, I'm going to drop down over here, then down and up this shoulder I think to get back, just to save me sort of retracing my steps. So let's crack on. I'm going to stop at this wee summit over here. I said there's some people coming, so I don't like doing filming when there's other people around. A bit shy. Right, let's go and I'll report back over there. So I headed over the short distance to this other summit, and it was just lovely. It was a bit quieter and the views were just stupendous over the rest of the Grampians and looking north to the Cairngorms. It was turning into a lovely day, but after a while I noticed more people coming towards me, so I upped and started to descend down the mountain. Right, I've come down quite a fair bit from the summit of the second Munro. You can see behind me it's quite steep ground, and once you get past the rocky section it's just steep grass, which I remember I did this with my son a few years ago actually. Did a reverse circuit, we came up this way and then over and down Glas. Well, anyway, you get a good view now of, I don't know if you'll see it, I'll maybe put some footage up. You can see the spur. I'm going to head up there, so I will be ascending again, and to the left of the spur you can see the road and my van. You can actually see my van, and that's where I'm going to head. So I'm going to drop down here and then head steeply up here and then head back. But it's been wonderful. I mean, sitting on the top there, it was just lovely. The sun was out, there's a breeze, so there's no beasties, just taking in the views. So it's completely different to what it was first thing this morning. Just absolutely gorgeous, and what an area. I just love, I love this area, Glenbeigh and Glen Shee, and yeah, I mean, I think it's categorised as part of the Cairngorm National Park, but I've never actually classed these hills as Cairngorm hills. I've always called them the Glen Shee Ski Centre hills. I think they feel different to the main Cairngorm hills. They're a bit lower, but they've got that rounded hill feel about them. That's that kind of comes back to the hill walking thing. I'll maybe talk a bit about it when I get back to the van, but let's just get down here. It's going to be a steep pull back up this spur, but yeah, it's beautiful. Lexi's loving it as well, she's just chilling. Oh, right, let's be back at the van. That was fun. About 17 kilometres and just under 1,000 metres of ascent. Well, about 950. I'll put the stats up at the end. But yeah, just what I needed. Lovely hill walking, as I mentioned earlier on. It's sometimes nice just to get out, put one foot in front of the other without a big heavy backpack on. Although my camera gear does weigh a lot, it's not as heavy as when I've got all my camping gear and all my water and all my food, so it's nice, and yeah, it was just a lovely day. It helped focus the mind a wee bit. Back to it, so we're way down to the coast now. We're to visit a relative, and yeah, so yeah, it's helped a lot, I think. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up. Just get out and hill walk. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. I'll see you next week for another adventure. Right, I'm gonna get a cup of tea before I head down the road.